In this video, I'm going to show you 3 easy Google Ads strategies that I recently used to get a 60 to 100% improvement in e-commerce revenue for my clients. Here are the results so you can see for yourself in Google Ads. All right, so here's the first client we ran this strategy for, and you can see here conversion value increased by 135%. So in the previous period, it was 30k, then we implemented these strategies, we got a 38k increase in revenue, and it resulted in 70k overall, and that was a increase in profit at the same time. So this is their gross profit after ad spend. It's actually a 70% increase in profit as well. So it was a profitable increase in revenue. Profit went up by 7k from about 10k to about 17k. Revenue went up by 40k, previously 30k went to 70k. Here's the second client we did this exact same thing for. Revenue increase of 70%, 67%, and it was 149k, it went up to 250k, and it was a profitable increase. Their gross profit after ad spend changed by 30% increase. So in both cases, we got a profitable increase in revenue with these strategies. Now, if you've been running Google Ads for your e-commerce business for quite a while, and you feel like you've hit a revenue plateau and can't seem to keep scaling, you will want to pay close attention today. The best part is that these results were all achieved within 30 days following the strategies you are about to learn. All right, with that said, let's dive in. The first part of the strategy is going to center around getting your existing Performance Max or shopping ads campaign to generate more actual profit for you. Later on, what we'll do is use this extra profit to fund some new revenue generation campaigns. More on that later. Let's focus on more profit from shopping or Performance Max right now. This profit optimization strategy works whether you are running standard shopping or Performance Max with a feed attached. The first thing you're going to want to do is add a column in Google Ads so you can actually clearly see your profit alongside the other metrics in Google Ads. Here's how to do that. Okay, so to add your profit column, you want to be in Google Ads. You can see I've already added the gross profit column here. This is a custom column. So the way you do this is you come to your columns, you modify columns, and you want to create a custom column. So I've already created it for this particular account. But let's say I want to create a new custom column. Let's just do this again. Create a new custom column and then name it something. I normally like to name it something like gross profit after ad spend, and there's already something in there called that. But what I'll normally do sometimes as well is just put in whatever is my gross profit margin in here. So let's say 60% GPM. You need to know your gross profit margin, so know that first. Get your store average gross profit margin and whack it into the title of your column is normally a good thing to do. And then the formula is going to be conversion value multiplied by your gross profit margin. So let's say it was 0.6 in your case, and then subtract your cost. There you go. Very simple formula. You save that, and this is a really important column to have in Google Ads because now you can not only see your revenue, but you can also see your gross profit after ad spend, which is really important to monitor alongside your ROAS, revenue, and cost as you're making changes in the account. Now, after you've created your profit column, another handy tip that you can do in Google Ads is to come to segment, and you can actually segment by time. So for example, if we select week, then we can see how each of these columns changed week by week. So for example, here we can see that the first week it was 15k, then 18k, then 20k, then it went down a bit to 13k revenue, and you can see how profit changed week over week there as well. So just one handy little tip there is to use your segment feature by time to more easily see how your stats break out over time in Google Ads. Now that you've got a clear picture of gross profit after ad spend, you need to understand a couple of concepts I call the profit curve and the ROAS Sweet Spot. Okay, so the profit curve and the ROAS Sweet Spot. When I say the ROAS Sweet Spot, what I mean is this yellow point on the profit curve, and this is the profit curve here. But before I explain this, let's first just talk about this, because you need to understand what happens as your ROAS target changes in your Google Ads e-commerce account. So presumably you're running a ROAS target for your e-commerce campaigns. If you're not, and you have more than 50 conversions per 30 days in the account, then I highly recommend that you do. Regardless of what bidding strategy you're running though, this is what happens to your account as you change the ROAS target. This is in a mature account, right? Where you're already running all your campaigns and you haven't just started out and you're just going through that initial growth phase. Once you're a bit more mature, this is what happens to your ROAS targets and your revenue and costs. When you increase your target ROAS in your campaign settings in Google Ads, the system responds by reducing your cost per click bids. So in order to get that ROAS up, you just went into campaign settings, you told the system to go from 300% to 400% return on ad spend, or whatever, just example numbers. The system responds by reducing your cost per click bids, because now it has to be cheaper. If previously it was getting you a 3-to-1 return, now you told it to get you a 4-to-1 return. It does that by reducing your costs, by reducing your cost per click bids. When you reduce your cost per click bids, you get less clicks. And when you get less clicks, you get less revenue and you get less costs. So costs go down, revenue goes down, click goes down. They all go down because CPC goes down, because you were telling the system to get you a higher return on ad spend. So increasing your return on ad spend gets you a better margin. You're now going to get a higher return on ad spend, but it comes at the cost of getting you less volume. And the opposite is true. If you decrease your ROAS target, the system responds by spending more. It increases your cost per click bid, which gets you more clicks, more revenue, and more costs. So what happens to profit? If you increase your ROAS target, does profit go up or does it go down? Well, that is what the profit curve tells you. The profit curve tells you this is the response of your profit in Google Ads as you increase or decrease your ROAS target. You have a break-even point, which can be calculated by doing 1 divided by your gross profit margin. So if your gross profit margin is 50%, you break even at 1 divided by 50%, which is 200. So 200% would be your break-even ROAS in that example. As you increase your ROAS target in your slightly more mature Google Ads account, what you're going to find is as the ROAS goes up, so does your profit. Because initially, as you're increasing your ROAS target, the clicks and revenue will go down, but initially the costs are going to go down so much faster that you make more profit. So that is why initially profit goes up, but you're going to hit a certain point where further increases in your ROAS target cause a decrease in profit. And that is because at this point, at the ROAS sweet spot, when you keep on going past that point and keep increasing your ROAS target, this is still happening, but past the ROAS sweet spot, what is going to happen is your revenue starts going down faster than your costs. And when that happens, your profit goes down. So at the beginning, your revenue and costs are going down, but your costs are going down much faster. Your profit goes up. After this point, your revenue is going down faster than your costs and your profit goes down. The idea of the profit curve is that you actually want to find the ROAS sweet spot. There is a singular ROAS target that you can find that will make you more profit in your account than any other ROAS target. There's only one number and you can't know it without testing. That is the concept of the profit curve, and this is the kind of testing that we do with our clients to try and maximize their revenue and profit. All right, now that you know how to get your profit numbers showing up in Google and you know how the profit curve and ROAS sweet spot work, you need to put this into action. Chances are you are not already at the sweet spot. So to find it, you either need to raise your ROAS target or to lower it. But how do you know which one? That's a question I cannot answer for you, I'm afraid. The sweet spot is at a different ROAS for every business. And this is where you need a good long-term framework for testing different ROAS targets, then noting down what happened to cost, revenue, and profit. In both of the example clients whose numbers I showed you earlier in this video, we were able to instantly increase revenue and profit for our clients, and that's because we correctly identified that in both cases they were at something like the red point B on the diagram. The red point B being this point here, where the ROAS is probably a bit too high, and by decreasing the ROAS target, we think we can not only increase revenue, because revenue goes up as your ROAS target goes down. I correctly identified that we were at the B point, not the A point, right? So we correctly identified that a drop in ROAS target would cause an increase in revenue and in profit. You know, we've got tons of experience doing this, so we just kind of know how to identify these situations, and we correctly identified it. And on the first chance we had to profit optimize their ROAS target, we were able to successfully move them from something like point B to something like the ROAS sweet spot. Let's look closer at gross profit after ad spend in that first example client account that I showed you. Here's their gross profit after ad spend column, and as you can see here, as I mentioned before, previously they were at 10k gross profit per month, and we got them to 18k gross profit per month. And look at the ROAS. Here's the return on ad spend, and previously they were at 5.5 ROAS, which they thought was great. They thought, oh, okay, we're at above 5x ROAS, this is fantastic. And we came in and we were just able to quickly identify that, given a deep analysis of their business, we were able to figure out that we have a theory here. We reckon 5 to 5.5 ROAS is something like this. and that your ROAS sweet spot's probably going to be closer to 4x. As I say, this is different for every business, so don't apply these exact same numbers to your business. You have to test, or like me and my team, you just have to have tons of experience and be able to do a really good guess of the first time as to where the profit optimization point is going to be. But yeah, we correctly identified that a drop in ROAS target was going to increase both their revenue and their profit, and that's what we did. So we went down from 5.5 to 4.73. Profit went up 92%, and revenue went up 129%. So yeah, everyone's a winner in that case. So yeah, in that example, the client was at above a 5x return on ad spend, and bringing their overall ROAS down resulted in more revenue and profit. As I say, the exact amount to aim for will vary business to business, but what I will say is that the average gross profit margin across the dozens of e-commerce niches I've worked with is usually around 50%. Now, this is an average, some are loads higher, some are loads lower, but at a 50% example gross profit margin, and assuming you are in a competitive market, I often see that the ROAS sweet spot is somewhere between 300 to 400%, give or take. If you have a much lower gross profit margin than 50%, then usually the sweet spot is going to be higher. And the level of competition in the market also affects the sweet spot. Generally speaking, the more competitive your market is and the less you stand out from the competition, the lower the sweet spot. However, if you have a truly unique product in your market or a really strong brand, then the sweet spot is often higher. So while I can't say the sweet spot for you, what I can say is this: have your gross profit after ad spend column showing up in Google Ads, and or just track it on a spreadsheet next to your spend, revenue, and ROAS. Adjust your ROAS target either up or down based on whether you think you might be above or below the sweet spot. Wait and see. It will take at least a couple of weeks or more before you see the effects. Be patient. Then compare spend, revenue, ROAS, and profit before and after your change, and adjust again if necessary. The second tactic on my list is to find your top selling products in your product feed, then optimize and improve just the most important parts of the feed for those products. Product feed optimization can be a huge task. It can take months to do if you want to do every field in your feed and every product in your list and you have a big list. This video today is about quick wins that you can use to make more profit in 30 days. That's why I am not saying do the whole thing. We are doing this 80-20 style. We are going to do the 20% of stuff that makes 80% of the results. Your e-commerce Google Ads campaign is likely primarily making its money from shopping ads. Within shopping ads, your top seller products are probably making 80% of the revenue. And then within the top selling products, out of the dozens of fields in the feed to optimize, there are two fields you can focus on now to get you more profit in the next 30 days. Those are the product title and the product type fields. Now, some of the free or cheap product feed tools do not allow you to customize the product title and the product type. In the past, I have often advised people to sign up for a premium feed tool so that they can do this. But there's now a new option in Google Merchant Center so that you can optimize the product titles and product types right in there without needing to fiddle around with your feed tool or paying for a more expensive tool. Let's hop over to my computer screen and I am going to show you how to optimize your titles and product types in Merchant Center. I'll also show you how to structure these fields and the best way to find keywords for both of the fields. Okay, here we are in Google Merchant Center next, and the first thing you want to do is come to your products list here. And in the past, I've always said that you need a premium feed tool to be able to do this kind of optimization, but these days in Google Merchant Center Next, there is an easier way to change your product title and your product type so that they are customized for shopping without having to change the data on your site, and you don't need a premium feed tool to do this anymore. So if you don't have a premium feed tool, what you can do is come in here and just click edit right over here. Once you've clicked edit, you come through to your product details and you can just directly change them in the fields here. So there's the title field over here. Now we are getting a notification on this title because it's invalid for demand gen ads. That's fine. We're not doing demand gen ads for this client. And the two fields that you want to prioritize optimizing are your title, which is going to be right here at the top. There you have it. There's your product type right there. And this is the section that you want to customize as well with really rich, good keywords. So let's say, for example, we'll do the product type first, and let's say I was advertising Ridge Wallet, which is a brand I like and respect in the e-commerce space. So we are doing a leather RFID blocking wallet. So for your product type, what you want to do is you want to make it 4 levels deep starting at the sort of the top of your category hierarchy, and then drilling down into what your product actually is, and make each section as keyword rich as you can. So for example, we might start with men's accessories, and then you can denote the next section in here. In fact, we might do it like this. We might start with men's apparel, men's accessories. And the whole idea with this is there's just tons more keywords in here now. Google does use your product type to try and figure out what your product is all about, and your product type is a free-form field that you can customize and get in some higher volume keywords. So now we've got RFID blocking wallets, and then one level up we've got wallets, which is an even bigger keyword, and then we've got men's accessories, which will be an even bigger keyword, and then we've got men's apparel as well, which will be an even bigger keyword. So we're just stacking keywords that range from targeted but small all the way up the category to the big but generic keywords, and you can get all that hierarchy into your product type, and more keywords in there means more keywords that your ads can be showing for, and just more information for Google about how to target your products in the search network in its PMAX campaigns. And the other field that you can optimize is your product titles. So let me just delete out there, and to optimize a product title, you just delete the field there, and then you can write in a product title that is just much more descriptive and better. What I've done here is I have filled out a title that is 107 characters long. You get up to 150 characters, and I'm pretending that I'm writing a title for this product here, the Ridge Biflex wallet. And a bad title to use for this product would just be the Biflex or Biflex wallet. So like if we go on here, this version of the wallet, you see here Ridge Biflex, that would be a bad title, and that is the title that a lot of e-commerce stores actually have in their shopping ads, because they used a free tool to just copy and paste all their data into shopping, and then they've got a really undescriptive title like that in their shopping ads. So what you want to do is you want to come into your merchant center and you want to manually edit that title so that it's not just a copy and paste of what you have on the site, because that's not going to be what's best for Google Shopping ads. Instead, you want something like this. So what you can see here is I added men's leather wallet, pipe, minimalist RFID blocking wallet for men, and then pipe, and then slim, durable, everyday carry, pipe. And then what I normally do is also add the store brand name at the end. So what you want to do is do some keyword research, use the free keyword planner tool in Google to figure out what are the best, most searched for keywords for your type of product. And then you want to construct a title like this, above 100 characters, ideally 130 to 150 characters. And you can use pipe separation, or some people like to use a dash like that as well. But you can use separation in the title to keyword stuff your headline and your keyword stuff your product title, and that is going to, in a lot of cases, result in a lot of extra clicks, impressions, and sales in your Google Ads campaign, because Google uses the title pretty heavily as a pretty big weighting in its understanding of what your product is all about. Now, just now I skipped out the bit where I was keyword researching and figuring out the title, because I didn't want to bore you with all that long stuff. But if you want to see a video that actually shows you my free AI tool and gives you a copy of my free AI tool that helps you optimize your product titles better, faster, and more efficiently, then check out this video up here where I share a free copy of that tool. Now, in just a moment, I am going to show you how to pivot your shopping ads data into search campaigns expansion. But first, let me quickly tell you about my Google Ads agency, BigFlare. Over at bigflare.com, we are a lean, mean team of Google Ads experts run by myself. Our mission is to help e-commerce businesses and founder-driven companies to add an extra zero to their annual revenue as quickly as possible. We do this with our fully done-for-you ads management service. We are known for getting results like this, and like this, and like this, and this. If you would like me to do a free audit of your Google Ads or Facebook Ads accounts, then click the link in the description below this video. You'll be taken to my booking page where you'll be able to book a time on the calendar for a Zoom call with me, On the call, we'll discuss your business and its challenges, and if I think it'll help you, then I will put together a free audit for your business and your ad campaigns. All right, back to the main video for today. The next thing to do is to expand into the search network in Google by launching new campaigns over there, using the data that your shopping ads or Performance Max campaign has gotten for you. In the first two steps of this process, what we did was we were setting up Performance Max to generate more profit for you. What we can now do is use this extra profit to launch a new search campaign that will be an investment at the start, but after proper optimization will generate additional profitable revenue for you over and above what you had before. And best of all is we're going to shortcut this process of getting search profitable for you by using all that awesome data you've already gathered in your shopping or Performance Max campaign. Here's how. Okay, so we are in our Google Ads account here, and what we want to do is come into our Performance Max campaign. So I'm just going to click on this one right here, and then you want to find this section up here under Insights and Reports. You're going to be able to click on Insights over here. And if we scroll down the Insights section, this is the bit you're looking for. You want to find the search terms insights. Now there's going to be a little bit of information here, but what you want to do is click into here where we can see our detailed report. Let's just widen that up. And from this screen, now what we want to do is download the data into a Google Sheet. You can select a different date range here, and I recommend using last 28 days or an even wider date range. I'm just going to use last 7 days for now because I'm doing this as an example, and when you use a longer date range it takes a bit longer to download the report. So let's go ahead and download the report for the past 7 days. Click download, click Google Sheets, name your report something sensible, search terms insights from PMax, click download, and away you go. It's now going to prepare and eventually have the report ready. When the report is ready, it's going to pop me up a little notification down here. All right, and once the report is downloaded and ready for you, you're going to be able to click to open it up, and it's going to look something like this. Now, I have blurred out the sensitive client information there because there's some clues there as to the client name, but let me just come over to this separate sheet so I can show you an example of what's going on in the search terms. What you're going to see in the first 3 columns is something like this. It's going to be search category, and then there's going to be subcategory here, and then the actual search terms are here. So what it does is it grabs all the search terms and it categorizes them over here, and then you've got a subcategory total here, which is going to show you the total stats for the whole subcategory that includes all these search terms, and then you're going to have the subcategory as well. So this is the search category, this is the subcategory, so it gives it a category and a subcategory, and then it gives it these total rows here. So the main thing to note is that you're going to get actual search terms here, and then these 2 rows here are kind of subtotals, and what we want to look for are the top converting search terms, and we want to get rid of the subtotal rows because there's like a lot of information in here, so we're going to need to do some filtering. Okay, so back in our main report, and the first thing you want to do is delete these header rows up here. And then if you click this button over here, we're going to get these nice little subtotal drop downs, which will allow us to order and filter things. Now, first up, what we can do over here is we can just get rid of the subtotal rows so that then we only see actual keyword data. So in here, if you just untick this one here, click OK, then what you're going to see is just a list of the actual search terms. So I'll show you how it looks when you can actually see the search terms. You see, like, you're going to have a big list, and there's going to be lots of search terms, and there's going to be lots of this stuff in there. And we just want to see the search terms data. So what I did before is just untick that, and then you're just going to see a ton of search term data, which is exactly what we want. Now, next step is we want to start just looking at stuff that got a decent amount of conversions. So here's our conversions here. You can see most of this stuff is 0 conversions, so we don't really care about that. What we do care about is stuff that actually got conversions. So we go filter by condition, greater than or equal to, and then you click 1. And then I'm just showing you how this looks when you first do this. There's actually one more step, but the sheet's data gets formatted a bit weird when you first load up the sheet. So that's why when you first try this, it won't work. So there's one additional step before we can do our greater than 1 filter. And that step is, what you need to do is For some reason, can you see it there? It gives this little apostrophe before the 0, which is kind of annoying. So now Google Sheets thinks this is like a text entry instead of a number entry. Very simple, quick fix. Highlight the column, go File, and then, oh no, not File, go, where was it? Data, and then split text to columns. And then that just gets rid of the apostrophe, and you can see the 0 moved over to the right now. And now the Sheets system knows that this is actually a numbers column. And if we try that again, condition greater than or equal to 1. There we go. So now what we've got is a list of keywords that actually get search terms, right? And we filtered it for the higher volume stuff. You can run an even bigger filter if you want. If it's too many terms and you want to just really focus on the top performing stuff, you can use a different filter. So there we've got a smaller list to work with initially. You will see some duplicates over here on the left hand side, so just ignore duplicates. But what you're looking for now is to take this list of keywords that actually get conversions out of PMax. So we've used PMax to prove that these keywords can get conversions for us, and they're likely getting conversions in shopping and in search. And now what you want to do is take this list of search terms here, dedupe it. Obviously don't add duplicates to your campaign. There's going to be some duplicates in there, but this is your starting point. This is where we can start with building out a search campaign with keywords that we know can get conversions for us, because PMax has already shown us they get conversions for us, and we start there, and over time you can develop this and get it better and better. But just starting with these keywords and structuring them well, I recommend starting with both phrase and exact match. So use phrase and exact match for these keywords, add them into your search campaign, and then write good ad copy for them. Obviously, that's the big advantage here, is that with manually controlled search campaigns, we can have like multiple ads per ad group. I recommend running 2 ads per ad group, each with 7 or 8 headlines and 2 descriptions only. Don't max out the full amount of headlines and descriptions. I've got another video on the channel where I covered that in a bit more depth. But yeah, take this as the starting point for your search campaign. Start with that. It already drives conversions, and then develop it over time to be driving more revenue into your account. Once you have your keywords and ad groups, launch them into a new search campaign. Set your daily budget quite low at the beginning and set the bid strategy to maximize conversions or maximize conversion value. And do not add a target CPA or a target ROAS at this stage. Instead, what you want to do at the beginning is to launch with no target and give the system room to learn. When you have around 30 to 50 conversions in the campaign is about when you can start thinking about adding a target ROAS or CPA to improve the results. And there you have it, my top 3 strategies to make 60 to 100% more revenue from Google Ads within 30 days. I talked about setting up search ads in this video, and of course that's a big topic, one that I can't cover all of right here. One part I didn't cover is ad copy strategy, but don't worry, I got you covered in this video right up here. In it, I show you the easy ad copy strategy that made 70% more conversions for me and my clients. Go check it out and enjoy.